Avatar video.
So we need to talk about 21st century Bolsheviks. With all this stuff going on in Portland, you know, Antifa, with ICE, all of that, I can guarantee you that the people, just like I talked about in the last video, about these dumbasses getting their brains scrambled, and then the people who scrambled their brains parade them around on the internet as fodder to divide people. Well, I can guarantee you, when the information comes out, that the people who scrambled these Antifa people's brains and put them over here on the far left side as pawns, those people are not out in the field right now. The only people who are out in the field are the true believer dumbasses who have followed this, who are still completely and totally scrambled, going after people. There's something I want to point out here. This was the guy who attacked that Nick Shirley guy. You know, and I'm not a huge fan of Nick Shirley or any of these dudes anyway, but watch how he attacks him and forces him off the street.
I didn't do anything.
Hey, get the fuck out
You get out of here. Don't try to hit me.
Get out of here.
Well, I have
Get
no...
out of here.
It would be very, very hard for me to be as passive as Nick Shirley with some guy shouting me down to walk and to get out of here. But listen to how he does it.
Come back.
Get away from
See
me.
you again.
Get away from me, sir.
Get the
Where are you?
fuck
You're pushing me onto the road.
Get the fuck out of here.
Let me move. Let me get out. If you're gonna let me get out.
Fucking walk.
Hey, sir, stop it.
Fucking walk.
Do you hear him? Listen to the authoritarian in him. Walk. Get out of here. Walk. How he's shouting.
Stop it.
Listen.
Walk.
Stop.
Walk, motherfucker.
What are you
Walk,
doing? Why are you so
motherfucker.
mad? I didn't do anything.
Did.
What did I do?
Walk.
I haven't done anything.
See, you hear that? Listen to how he's saying it. Really listen to how he's saying that. Walk, motherfucker. If he was given an ounce of real power, this is what they would be doing to anybody right of Chairman Mao. They would be marching them wherever they were taking them, just like this. And this guy has no idea that as soon as he did his job and thought that he was part of the group, they would take him out too. This is how dumb this guy is. He has no idea that at the end, he would be taken out as well.
Walk, motherfucker.
What are you doing? Why are you so mad? I didn't do anything.
Did.
What did I do?
Walk.
I haven't done anything.
Walk, motherfucker.
So you have all this going on, you know, these people running around giving orders to people. Everybody is a Nazi. I'm promising you this, that the real leaders, the real agitators, the people who really divide these people and radicalize them are hiding. They're in hiding right now. And these are the only people on the street because they know the real game. And the real game is the mask doesn't really do anything. The leaders in that movement, they know, and they're safe. They are totally safe. To prove my point, these people are living like it's 1980s or 1990s. They really believe, and I've made videos on this in the past, that the mask is protecting them from being identified. They really believe this.
What's the need for all of the black?
The need for all the black is to protect everybody who is around here, who is also wanting to protect their identity. I don't want my face to be out there. I don't want these people to see this and then come and persecute me for standing out and holding a sign that says silence is compliance.
These people are totally convinced that the mask protects their identity, when it's total bullshit, and it has been for a long, long time. Your walking gait, your height, and your face. You have your face covered up, it's only part of the fingerprint. When you start getting into higher technology, you have breathing pattern, heart rate, the blood that goes to your face. They have been talking about this for a long, long time. To prove my point, ICE is going to go for a targeted arrest. That's what they call it. Check this out. I'll start it from the beginning.
They now just said they're going to make a targeted arrest on somebody out here, and now Antifa is all running. Look, they're literally running away. Now they're making a targeted arrest on somebody.
Okay, Antifa's all masked, right? A targeted arrest on a masked person who has their identity covered.
They have arrested a man.
So here it is. Here's their targeted arrest, right? His mask has been pulled off. He wasn't running around like this. He was running around with a mask on. His hood has been pulled down, his hood from his hoodie, and his mask has been taken down. You can see it wrapped around him. He's got a scarf on as well. There's their targeted arrest of a masked guy. So they could clearly identify him mask or no mask. This is how stupid these people are. People don't realize the technology that they have to shut these people down when they want to shut them down. A mask does nothing. Absolutely nothing. You need to realize that. People in the 2A community, people in all these different communities need to get a grip on where the technology really is. You know, there could be a reason for them becoming more lax about gun laws. And that reason really is because they could have you down on the ground with your vision spinning before you even got to the end of your driveway. Bottom line. And people need to realize that. I shouldn't even call them communities, because back in the day you call them a scene. Now, community sounds so weird. It's a scene. The people in these scenes need to realize that they want you thinking that it's all a quote-unquote conspiracy theory because the technology has advanced so far. They identified this guy in a mask and made a quote-unquote targeted arrest. Now, I want to talk about the Mormon church shooting in Michigan, right? There was something weird going on. It was right away, and I was following it for some hours, right? And things kept changing. Now, when I show you this information, I am not saying that this person is the person that did it. I'm telling you that something is weird here, and it appears that the motive and everything about this was already part of the construction before it even happened. I am telling you that dozens of news sites had this guy officially named as the shooter before the entire narrative was changed. And then they said it was a hoax. It was a hoax that was played on all of these news sites. Check this out real quick. Marcus Hale, ex-Army vet, identified in Grand Blanc church shooting that killed 2. Marcus Hale is not the guy that turned out to be the shooter. Now, I don't know where this truck photo came from, but this truck is not the same truck that was used in the Mormon church shooting. But the profile of the person is the same. It says ex-Army vet. Well, the other guy is a Marine, right? Marcus Hale, and then the Thomas Sanford. This guy is an ex-Army vet, right? It says that Marcus Hale, and in many of them it says 40, but they changed this one to 42. 42-year-old Grand Blanc resident and former Army veteran has been officially identified as the gunman in the LDS shooting in Grand Blanc. It says that Hale was neutralized on site by an off-duty police officer. Then it says that Marcus Hale was a former U.S. Army service member with a documented history of mental health struggles, including PTSD. According to law enforcement, he had expressed anti-Mormon rhetoric online, and investigators are now exploring whether the attack was motivated by religious bias or personal grudges. Pretty weird, right? It's the exact thing. And for a hoax, there's a lot of there's motive, there's a backstory, there's everything. It's pretty weird, man. Now, I won't show you all of them because I have dozens and dozens of them, but it says, who is Marcus Hale? Is the Grand Blanc Mormon church shooter a veteran? And then it goes through details about this Marcus Hale person. Pretty strange. They had a total motive for this guy, that he had been posting anti-Mormon rhetoric online. Then I read this on X. It says here that the gunman was an ex-Mormon, Marcus Hale, who was shot dead by police after setting the church ablaze with gasoline and leaving a manifesto blaming church leaders. Lots of details for a quote-unquote hoax. What is going on here? Because then afterward, this guy pops up out of the woodwork when they changed the guy who did it. They changed the suspect, but they keep the same narrative. And this guy, this politician, just happens to be going door to door and just happened to talk to this guy a couple days before it happened. How convenient is that? So here's what I found right afterwards. This guy, Chris Johns, claims that he talked to the new shooter and this guy had the same motive as the first guy.
Here today, you came to the realization that you say that you talked to the person who did this horrible thing in Grambling Township?
I did last week. It was Wednesday or Thursday. I'm running for city council and I'm canvassing, and I had an address on my map that I went to, and I came across a gentleman. He was very friendly, and he had interacted positively with me, and we got out of the vehicle. We started just to talk, and after a short while, the conversation went to the Church of Latter-day Saints, Mormonism.
It just went there. But neither one of them are Mormon, but it just went there.
And he just made the position multiple times that Mormons are the Antichrist. And he, in not so many terms, said that several times. He gave me his background, but I just walked away from a person.
He just gave a stranger his background. That doesn't sound very credible to me at all. And I don't think that the police find this credible either.
Who had some very sharp views about Mormons.
Kind of weird, right? This guy pops up with the same story, giving him the same motive as the first shooter, right? So, as it turns out, now the police are still looking for a motive in the church attack.
Talk with one of Thomas Ansford's close childhood friends. He was too shaken up to do an on-camera interview, but quite frankly, he told me he's having a tough time wrapping his head around the fact that his friend did this. He says at some point he changed. Now investigators are working to get to the...
Yeah, but he doesn't, if he can't wrap his head around it, then he doesn't know when he changed. He's just saying, it's not the same guy. That's what he's saying. My friend wouldn't do that.
Bottom of what happened as this church and this community trying to find a way forward.
So the title of this video is Investigators Still Searching for Motive, basically. It's kind of weird, man. It's kind of weird that they had a motive for the first guy. Turns out to be another guy, but they're still trying to pin the same motive on the second guy. And this wannabe politician just happens to be walking around and remembers talking to the guy, and the guy gives him a motive and his hatred and his background and everything that he needs to pin him down after the fact. Amazing. And I'm talking dozens and dozens of websites naming this guy as the shooter, a vet, but an Army vet instead of a Marine, right? And he had the same motive, except he was an ex-member, or he had anti-Mormon rhetoric online. It also shows a truck here with cops around it. I don't know where this photo came from. It's a very similar truck, right? Different guy, same motive, veteran. Turns out to be another guy who is a veteran with a truck and the same motive. There is something kind of weird going on here, and I'm not sure what it is yet. They said it was a hoax, but there is too much information about the dude to be a hoax. They learned back in the Sam Hyde days not to do this shit. Something weird is going on here. I don't know what it is, and I'm not saying that this guy did it at all. I'm saying it's very, very strange. The shooter is Sam Hyde was a hoax, because it was just the shooter is Sam Hyde. It's simple. But when you're telling people that he has been officially identified as the gunman, he was a former U.S. Army service member with a documented history of mental health struggles, including PTSD, and expressed anti-Mormon rhetoric online, that is more than a hoax. That is a total background and everything. That is a narrative. There's something weird here. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you here is that most of these sites got 404'd. When I went to click on them again, hours later, they were 404'd. However, this one, they still say Marcus Hale is the gunman, right? Marcus Hale named in Grand Blanc church shooting. But when you actually click on the link, it takes you to the new guy. You can click on the Marcus Hale link, but it will take you to the new guy. And that is just really fucked up to me.